Um, but obviously, I've been a little fortunate, actually gratefully fortunate to have lunch with Robert, and we talked through quite a few things, and didn't even
That was the wellness visit.
Yeah, exactly. Robert, by the way, introduction to that Pokey spot. I introduced 3 other people, so we're big fans now. But I know we talked through a few things. Definitely, obviously, gave me special service to get through a lot of other things, so we'll definitely get there. But one of the things that stuck out to me, and I know you mentioned it here on this call, is emotional maturity and immaturity. And I know you were talking about the prison visits, and I don't know, people, what advice would you give, or what things that you do or you share, you teach to folks to improve your level of maturity? Just because it's funny, because once we talked about that, I started like analyzing people's ability of their emotional maturity. And it's like, how do we increase that to be stronger, to be able to give back to the community, to help advise others so that we can continue to grow? Because as Scott shared, our society is getting so soft. So how do we help avoid or improve that over time?
You have to be in an environment where it's okay to talk life. And you've got to be able to be safe when you say things. So you're not trying to scar people, but you're trying to say, you get it. And oftentimes people are threatened to talk about things that they don't know if they're secure or insecure about. And so it's usually a one-on-one, and you have to wait and see when there's a moment when they're teachable or available to bring that kind of a thing up. And the challenge is that if you say to someone, are you mature? They'll probably say, sure. Say, great. Then if you can go and say, is there any place in your life that you think that you're immature? It's a great class kind of a thing. And is there any place in your life you're emotionally bent? Like that really bugs you. And you say things you shouldn't say, or think things or whatever. And if you can have those down-to-earth conversations with people, and I was fortunate for 25 years, people paid me to ask those questions, you'll find that people say, I never thought about that. Never crossed my mind. It's why my mom doesn't. I just learned it from my dad. That's blah, blah, blah. And then you say, as you pull it apart, does it work for you? Is it the best? You get the kind of responses that you want? You solve beefs that way? And they begin to think, and throw them a bone to think on one week, and then throw them a bone to think on another week, let them stew in it, and if you can have those kind of conversations, people will think. And what we don't do a lot of is think. Most of us are too busy with everything but thinking deeply or quality thinking. And people don't mind thinking, but they don't know how to process what they do think, who they're going to process it with. So if you guys as leaders or employers or whatever, if you can help people think, you'll do them a great service, because some of them will really want to change. They just never thought. I mean, if you can't think it, you can't do it. And if you've never thought it, you're stuck, right? So here, think on this as a group, think on this. When I was consulting for a security firm up in San Jose, they had a real bad communication culture. They would rather text each other than walk around the cubicle and say hi. And they'd rather badmouth each other in the office with texts and emails, and then smile at each other at the lunchroom. And I said, you guys suck. I mean, this is a dysfunctional family. And so what is it that keeps you from actually saying to someone, I didn't like what you did, or this or that? And they got 500 employees, and blah, blah, blah. They were never challenged that they could be a better team and do better in their communication, but they come from dysfunctional homes too. And they just carry that stuff. And if the company doesn't, well, I'm getting off on stuff. Anyway, that's what I would do. Get people to think. Hopefully what we say in the Jesus business is, what is Jesus doing? Only do what you see Jesus doing, because the only thing that's going to work is what he's doing. And if he's not doing it, don't even bring it up, because it's going to water on a rock, just what is God doing? And if you don't see God doing teachability, humility, openness, growth, if you don't see that, probably not going to get it. Try to force someone to grow up doesn't work.